In this fragment of St. Luke's Gospel, the Lord unites two different things together. On one hand, the prophecy of the destruction of Jerusalem, approximately in the year 66. The Jewish uprising begins that has immediate response from the emperor. The emperor Vespasian sent his son Titus to quell the revelation, and in fact, Vespasian himself participated in it, to the point that during the war with Israel, with Jerusalem, being in the city of Caesarea, Vespasian was appointed emperor by the death of the emperor in Rome. Later, when Vespasian was crowned, he entrusted his son, who had participated with him, to finish the task, and Jerusalem was absolutely destroyed. The temple was destroyed, and the city was razed in the year 70, so much so that it was revealed by the Romans under another name, the Capitolina, and in the place where our Lord had died, they soared Cyprus and dedicated a pagan temple. That was an offense. They knew that there, the Christians, they were worshipping their God, Jesus Christ. That, however, allowed the holy place to be saved, because being in a pagan temple, no houses were built. Jesus speaks of the ruin of Jerusalem in words. He is making a prophecy, but also speak of something very important, the end of the world, which didn't coincide, does not agree. The Lord did not say it will coincide with the ruin of Jerusalem. I think that, situated in this context, I repeat, a prophecy about His beloved Jerusalem and of the announcement, once again, of the end of time. I think it is worth focusing at the end of this fragment of St. Luke. He says, he's speaking of the coming of the Son of Man in glory, of the coming of Christ in glory. And he says, when this begins to happen, stand up, raise your heads, because your liberation is close. What does it mean? When this begins to happen, when the end of the world begins to happen, stand up, raise your heads, your liberation is near. For others, it will be frightening, but not for us, because it will be the encounter with Christ, the encounter with the Lord whom we love. When Saint Teresa of Jesus died, her last words were, finally, the time has come. Finally, the so desired time. She had written, I die because I don't die. She finally met the Lord. Many years before Saint Teresa, Saint Paul had written something like that. For me, life is Christ, and to die is a gain. But when the Son of Man comes, will He find this faith on earth? These are words of Jesus. Will He find His faith on earth? Who among us lives thinking of eternity? Who conditions his life thinking of eternity? In reality, we have lost, if not completely lost, most of our faith in eternal life. Theological virtues are three: faith, hope, and charity. Well, but not only they are three, but there is an order within them: faith, hope, and charity. If I had to give an example, I would say it's like a tree, a fruit tree. Faith is the root, hope is the trunk, and charity is the fruit. But what happens to a tree if you cut the root and the trunk? This tree is dead. We have been tens of years, no one, nor two, nor at least years, tens of years, that we have forgotten faith and hope. Faith, I believe and I trust. I believe and I trust. Hope, I know that what God has promised will be fulfilled. What has promised God? What are His promises?
Sé que lo que Dios ha prometido
I hope,
se
for
va a
example,
cumplir.
in
¿Qué
the
ha prometido
forgiveness
Dios?
of my
¿Cuáles
sins.
son sus
I
promesas?
repent and
¿En qué
confess.
espero? Espero,
What a great
por
hope.
ejemplo,
I hope
en el
that
perdón
I'm
de
not
mis
alone
pecados.
while I
Si estoy
suffer.
arrepentido y me confieso,
Come to
qué gran
those
esperanza.
whom are
Espero
tired and burdened.
Que no estoy solo
And it
cuando
is true
sufro.
that
Venid
I'm
a
not
mí los que
alone
estáis cansados y
while I'm
agobiados.
suffering. What
Y
a
es
great
cierto
hope.
que no estoy
But
solo,
above all,
aunque esté
I
sufriendo.
hope that there
Qué
is
gran
eternal life.
esperanza.
There
Pero
is
sobre
eternal
todo,
life.
espero
Those who
que hay
have
vida
died
eterna.
have
Hay
not died
vida
forever,
eterna.
and I'm not going to die
Los que
forever.
han muerto no han
There is
muerto para
eternal life.
siempre. Y yo
Now,
no voy a
let's
morir
take a
para
look at this
siempre.
way.
Hay vida
Out of
eterna.
faith in God's power,
Ahora
out of
quitemos esto.
trust in divine providence over
Fuera
my
la fe
life
en el
or
poder
the
de
life
Dios.
of my people,
Fuera la
out of hope
confianza
in
en la
God's
divina providencia sobre mi
accompaniment
vida
in my
o sobre
trail,
la vida de los
out of
míos.
hope of God's mercy,
Fuera la
because
esperanza
I don't
en el
know,
acompañamiento de
since
Dios en
according
mis
to the new
pruebas.
theology,
Fuera la
there is no
esperanza
such a
en la
sin,
misericordia de Dios, porque no la
and
necesito,
of course,
dado que
out of hope in
según
eternal
la nueva
life.
teología, no existe
What
el
does this
pecado.
all come down to?
Y por supuesto,
It comes down to charity.
fuera la esperanza en la vida
But
eterna.
we
¿A
should
qué se
call it
reduce todo?
something else, not charity,
Se reduce
because
a la
charity,
caridad.
the definition of
Pero
charity
deberíamos de
is
llamarla
enough
de
to
otra
look it
manera,
up
no
in
caridad,
the
porque
catechism.
caridad, la
The
definición
definition
de
of
caridad,
charity
basta con
is to love
buscarlo
God
en el
in first
catecismo.
place,
La definición de caridad es amar
and
a
for
Dios
God,
en
for
primer
Christ,
lugar.
for you, Jesus,
Y por
to love
Dios,
your neighbor.
por
That is the
Cristo,
theological
y Jesús,
definition
amar
of
al prójimo.
charity,
Esa es la
but that's
definición
gone too.
teológica de caridad.
There is something else left.
Pero ya eso también ha
Perhaps it
desaparecido.
should be
Era
called
otra cosa.
by
Quizá
more
habría
common
que
names,
llamarla con un
solidarity,
nombre
which
más
is not
común,
bad. It
solidaridad,
is a human virtue.
que no está mal,
There is no
es una
longer
virtud
charity.
humana. Pero ya
God no
es
longer
caridad.
enters.
Ya Dios no
Solidarity,
entra. Solidaridad,
feelings, a feeling that acts,
un
that has its
sentimiento que
times.
actúa,
It
que
depends
tiene
on the
obras.
dates. It
Depende.
depends on the desire.
Depende de los
It
días,
depends on
depende de
whom.
las ganas, depende de a quién.
Solidarity with the
Solidaridad
political
con
court, of course.
lo políticamente
We are solidarity
correcto.
because
Claro, eres
that is
solidario
what everyone
porque
says
así lo
today
dice
with nature.
hoy en día todo
Even
el
though
mundo con la
that is
naturaleza.
consumerist
Aunque
that
seas un
you are,
consumista que la estés
definitely
esquilmando.
you are solidary,
Eres
very
solidario,
solidary
muy
with those
solidario
in other countries.
con los de
But
otros
you are
países.
very solidary
Eres muy
depending on,
solidario según
because if they
porque
bother
como
you,
están a ti, ya no
you
están
are not so
solidarios.
solidarity
En cambio,
anymore.
como no es
On the other
políticamente
hand,
correcto, ya no eres
because it is not
solidario
politically correct,
con los
you
niños
are
no
not so
nacidos.
longer in
A esos no.
solidarity with
A esos hay
newborn
que
children.
matarlos.
Not
Ya no
those.
eres solidario
Those
con los
have to be
ancianos,
killed.
con
You
los
are
que
no
tienen
longer in
enfermedades
solidarity
psíquicas, por
with the
ejemplo, el
elders,
Alzheimer.
with those who
A
have
esos no.
physical
A esos hay
illness,
que matarlos,
for example,
porque no es
Alzheimer.
políticamente
You must kill
correcto.
those
Tu
because
solidaridad
it is not politically
es
correct.
simplemente
Your
una adaptación
solidarity is
a lo
simply
que
an
diga y
adoption
piense la mayoría
to the
para no
majority, it
quedarte
says,
fuera
and
de esa
to think
mayoría,
so is
aunque
not to
esa
remain
mayoría
outside of the
pensaba
majority,
fuera
even if what the
totalmente
majority
injusto.
thinks is totally unfair.
Hubo solidaridad.
There
en
was a
Alemania
soldier in East
nazi.
Germany.
La mayoría
The
pensaba
majority,
que
though,
había que estar en contra
that
de los
by
judíos y
being
no te
against
podías
the
quedar
Jews,
fuera. Y
and you
solamente
couldn't
unos
say
pocos se
out,
pusieron.
and only because
Porque
a few
era
opposed,
entonces y allí
because
lo
it was the
políticamente
end.
correcto.
There,
La caridad es
political
otra
correct
cosa.
thing to do.
La caridad
Charity
es
is
creer en
something
Dios,
else.
esperar en
Charity
Dios y
is to
amar a
believe in
Dios.
God,
Y por Dios,
waiting on
amar al
God,
prójimo.
and loving God.
¿Dónde
And for
está
God,
eso?
love your neighbor.
Hay
Where is that?
sentimentalismo.
There is
Nada más.
sentimentalism,
Sentimentalismo que te lleva
nothing more
a echar unas
sentimentalism,
monedas
which leads you
para quedarte
to
con la
throw
conciencia
a few
tranquila.
coins to keep
Unas
your
monedas.
conscience clear,
Qué
a few
barato te
coins
sale.
to keep
Qué
cheap.
poco te
It is
cuesta
very cheap for
quedarte
you to
con la
keep your
conciencia
conscience
tranquila,
clear by throwing a
echando
few
unas
coins to the
monedas,
poor man
o al
at the
pobre
traffic light,
del semáforo,
or to the one at
o
the
al que
door
está en la
of the
puerta del
supermarket,
supermercado,
or
o
some
alguna
institution
institución a la
to
cual
which you give a grab
das
of what you
una
have
migaja
left over,
de lo que te sobra,
and
y
you buy
compras
the conscious
la paz de
part.
conciencia.
I'm
Soy
solidarity. Or sometimes
O a
you
veces
don't
ni
even
siquiera
give the
dar
coins.
las monedas.
Sometimes
A
a
veces
signature.
una firma.
You sign here to
Fírmeme
save the
usted
whales.
aquí para
And I
salvar las
sign.
ballenas.
I am already
Firmo.
solidary.
Ya soy solidario.
I am
Ya
already
soy
an
ecologista.
ecologist. Or
O a
sometimes
veces ni
not even
siquiera
that.
eso. Un voto.
A vote to this political party
este partido
is part of
político
the
es el
poor.
partido de los
He
pobres.
supports the
Ah, pues
vote
dale voto.
that I have
Yo no
nothing to
tengo
do with it.
nada que ver, vivo como
I
un
live
rey,
like
si
a king
puedo.
if I can,
Pero ya he
but I
votado
have already
al partido de
voted
los pobres.
for the party of the poor. When the Son of Man
Cuando
comes,
venga el Hijo del
will
Hombre
he find
encontrará
his
esta
faith
fe
on
en
earth?
la tierra.
When the hour of
Y
the
cuando
death
nos
comes,
llegue la hora de nuestra
which
muerte,
will be our first first
que será
judgment
nuestro primer
will be
juicio,
raising our heads and say,
levantaremos la cabeza
Has the
y
hour
diremos,
of my
ha
liberation
llegado la hora
come?
de mi liberación.
Or will we
O
curse the day
maldeciremos ese día y
in
esa
that
hora.
hour? I repeat,
Repito, los santos ante la
the
muerte
saints
dijeron,
before
por fin,
death says,
por fin,
at
Señor, por
least,
fin.
Lord,
Tanto he deseado
I so
estar
wanted to
contigo.
be with you.
Por fin,
Finally,
por fin.
be prepared,
Estad
because
preparados,
you don't
porque
either
no
the
sabéis
day
el día
nor
ni
the
la hora.
hour.
Y
And
cuando
we,
ese día
the
llegue,
day comes perhaps
quizá como
like
un
a
ladrón
thief in
en
the
la
night.
noche,
When the
cuando ese
days
día
come
llegue,
for
nos
it
encuentre
to
preparados
find us
y
prepared
ansiosos
and eager
por
to
estar
be
con
with
Cristo,
Christ,
nuestra
our
vida.
life.
Que así sea.
So be it.